spring and the summer that much more important for you, just to evaluate what's here and implement?
Especially this year, yeah, because they have to get to know me and I have to see where they're at skills-wise, and implementing a system that I see fit to their skills. Sure, it allows me to work with them. So, but you also have to understand there are other coaches in the other schools that are doing that also, who already have their systems in. So we're certainly behind, but that's the nature of the beast. It's time to catch up and time to do the best that we can, advance their skills and their knowledge from now until August.
Coming in coaching with all new terminology, new playbook, that makes this summer very important. To implement your passing tree and your coverages. Is this going to be a real tough test to put all your terminology in, plus get ready for the football season?
I mentioned to the coaches yesterday a very successful program here. I've been lucky to be a part of it, and our staff at Wacona have been very successful. There's got to be a common thread there. For some reason, this group of staff and these people are very successful here. We've been successful up in Massachusetts. We may talk a different language, so to speak, but when it gets down to it, blocking and tackling, certainly that's where we're going to focus on, and we're going to find a middle ground there. And by August, we'll be talking the same terminology. Whether I'll be bending to some terminology here, they're going to mine. Either way, it's just a matter of communication. Just like any teacher, when a kid moves from social studies to math to whatever, they may talk in a different language, but plain and simple, they want the same amount of work and the effort out of the kids. And you know, we hope we'll find that. It just takes some time, and we'll work at it.
At the school board meeting, when you were voted in as hiree, they had not decided at that point what your other job at the district would be. Have anybody come to that conclusion yet?
No, right now there are some considerations that are being talked about within the school district. There's some other positions through retirement or through openings that are available. But we haven't made any decision yet on what the other position will be.
Coach, how will this first year be different from your first year coaching at your previous school?
Or will there be a lot of similarities, yeah. Certainly, but the difference is just I feel as though the system that I've run and certain things that I've done, I feel pretty more concrete than I did my first year. You know, your first year is a lot of trial and error, and as you learn over the 10 years, different philosophies, different ways to motivate kids, I think I have more of a head start in that this year. I feel a little more seasoned. I feel a little bit better about the things that I do, and I'm pretty concrete in certain aspects. So I think the biggest difference is just as simple as that I'm more seasoned in that first year.
But you seem very confident, very enthusiastic about coming in here. I mean, is that something you need to help sell these kids on what you're trying to do?
Sure, they want to follow someone who knows where they're going. So certainly if I come in wavering and here and there, they're going to feel that. Kids, you got to give them credit. They're smarter than what you think, and they'll come in, and if they feel you're wavering in any bit, they lose confidence. So if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, certainly they're not going to have confidence in you. So when it comes down to it, excuse the synonym, but I'm lead dog. So let's face it, I better know where I'm going. So the lead dog has to know where they're going. So I do know where I'm going, and I do know what to do and how to get there. And it's just going to take time for our coaches and I to get that communication down, and then we get the kids together to follow that. But the kids are great. The vibe was great yesterday, and I think they're going to follow. They're going to be great.
Rich, you saw George Curry pretty much go through this, so I'm not trying to make you an old guy, but any similarities between Coach Curry, a young Coach Curry, and a 35-year-old Gary Campbell?
Certainly, I think there are some similarities. I think both individuals are enthusiastic, positive type people. And I think both individuals, and this would be Coach Curry as a young coach all the way through, along with Coach Campbell, they are the types of people that I think that young people are drawn to. And they sort of have a magnetism of some type, and I think that both of these individuals are the kind of coaches where kids would run through a wall for. And all Coach Campbell needs is time now to get to know his players and for his players to get to know him.
You kind of see the football motor is the same. That's what I see.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. The motor is the same.
Let me ask Dane and Tanner what they think about coming to Berwick.
Good.
Are you excited?
What are you looking forward to, Tanner? Good stuff.
He's looking for Pennsylvania deer down on the drive down.
A lot of deer crossings on the highway. Huh? That was a good sign? That was a good sign. That was a good sign. The boys and I, we love the family atmosphere so far. It's been great. Just meeting the families, the outpouring of support from families is great. My wife and I are very fortunate to have a beautiful family, and that's our number one. So certainly we're excited by that. The boys are a little tired of swimming all day yesterday. They're excited to go swimming again today, huh? Yeah, they're excited to do that. So it's been an excellent visit so far.
How much of a whirlwind is this whole process been for you in terms of just applying and then having to deal with all of us and finally getting a job?
From a control freak's standpoint, yeah, you can call it that. Certainly, I think any football coach and any coach becomes a control freak, and they certainly want to do that. So certain things out of control that you have to deal with, but I will tell you what, every person that I've met, every person that I've come in contact with here, adult and youth, has been very positive, and I want to thank them for that. It's been phenomenal.
How are things left at your former school? How'd that go?
That again has been positive. That was certainly something that I didn't feel we could control. They understood my motives. They understood why. They're very, very. You know, there's something in your heart, you know, when you leave home. So, so far, and I envision it all the way through. It's been so much support. They're playing a busload down here for the first game, so that tells you a little something about it. The assistant coaches are excited, and you know, they're assembling and they're getting ready to move on too. You know, life moves on, and so they're accepting of that. We've left in a great position. People have been positive. They're positive. The kids are excited for next year. There's a great foundation there. Kona's going to be in great hands. So I'm proud to have left it that way. I think that's really important, is I'm proud to have left on a great note in my hometown. Great note.
I hope everyone sees in this young man what we see as a committee when we went through the interview process. I think Berwick has a quality individual, not only as a football coach, but as a teacher and motivator and a role model for our youth of our community. Anybody have any questions about Mrs. Coach? Any comments? Any questions for her?
No, it's been great to meet everybody. It's been really positive. I think that's the one thing that I've taken from it, and I want to thank all those people because it's been wonderful. It's just like home. That's what it reminds me of. So it's good. Thank you.
Are you going to beat Valley West and that guy that's going to get that job tonight?
Yeah.
I'm political. The wife is not.
I'm following the boss.
The wife says yes.
When I say lead dog,
my birthday,
it's
we
only
better
lead
win.
dog in a certain area. There's another pack of dogs in which I know are in the lead.
If you're not the lead dog, then you never change it.
That's it. That was an easy answer.
Enjoy this honeymoon right up to kickoff.
Yeah, that's it.
They're treating you like the Pope now. But
That's it. It's the same as at home. Let's face it. When you're successful and you're on top of that mountain, everybody wants the single reason to drag you down. So there's certainly no change in that. And that's, hey, you're on top of a mountain for a reason, and that's where you strive to be. And sometimes it's harder to stay on top of that mountain than it is to make the climb. But I can't wait to be there and to work to continue to strive to do that.
It's got a great motivational tool, and everybody's able at this program, you know, and you can just sell that. I think Coach Curry sold that. I remember one time I was on a bus ride, filming for him, a JV game, and they booed the bus. And when they got back, the kids said, "Coach, they booed our bus." And Coach Curry said, "That's why we lift the weights, boys." He got all excited. But I thought he used that to sell it, and I thought it was a great motivational tool.
It's positive for the kids. It's positive all the way around. If they feel as though they're on top of the mountain, usually they play that way. So if they feel as though they're at the bottom of the valley, sometimes they play that way. So certainly the kids feel it. Can't make it into a pressure thing. You do the very best that you can. You put out the best energy that you can. Let the chips fall where they may. So that's where I come from.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You meant the match.
Good morning, and thanks for coming today. It's my privilege to introduce our new head football coach. He grew up in Dalton, Massachusetts, attending Nessicus Regional Middle School and Wacona Regional High School. He is one of 3 children in his family. In 1987, he was chosen to be one of 4 captains for his high school football team. He was also part of the state championship basketball team in 1987, his junior year. He attended Springfield College, Springfield, Massachusetts, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in secondary physical education in 1992. In 1998, he was awarded a Master's of Education from Cambridge College in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He has served as department head and physical education health instructor at the Wacona Regional High School since 2004. In addition, he was an assistant athletic director during this time period. As supervisor of health and wellness in the school district, he oversaw the curriculum and evaluation of 7 teachers in 6 different schools. Prior, he was a physical health and education instructor at the Nessicus Middle School in Dalton, Massachusetts. Since 1996, he has been the head football coach at Wacona Regional High School. He has been to the Division II Super Bowl championship 6 out of the last 9 years, winning 2 Super Bowl championships, the equivalent of PIAA state championships. In 1998 and again in 2003, he was the Berkshire County Football Coach of the Year. In 1999 and 2005, he was an assistant coach in the Chowder Bowl Shriner game in Massachusetts. His overall record during the 10 years of head football coach is 83-23-1. Incorporating the principles of teaching and learning into his football team, he has built one of the most successful football programs in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The success is based on loyalty to his student athletes, school, and community. His passion for coaching young athletes, a commitment to foster teamwork, and a strong commitment to academics are other quality attributes of this individual. Along with his wife, Kelly, he has 2 sons, Dane and Tanner. Great pleasure, as athletic director of Berwick Area High School, I present Coach Gary Campbell as the next football coach of the Berwick Bulldogs.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Mr. Walton. Thank you to everybody in Berwick. It's been a great couple of days. We've been here for a couple of days now, and they've been very warm welcome, very supporting coming in. And my wife, 2 boys, we're very excited to be a part of this program. So I'm very humbled to be chosen here as a football coach here at the school. And hopefully we're ready to get work. To be honest with you, March 27th isn't going to come fast enough. So with that ending, are there any questions from you?
Coach Campbell, everybody from Paris, Texas, and Paris, France knows what Berwick football is. Does this job scare the heck out of you?
No, it doesn't scare me at all. It's a great challenge. It's why I chose to be here. I'm excited to do it. Absolutely not. I'm ready to go.
Gary, was this a job that you looked for when you started your career? Or did you have a plan, I'm going to stay here this long, and then go? Was this just something that seemed too good to pass up?
I think both. It's a job that I definitely wanted to aspire to, and I don't know if it was necessarily Berwick itself, but the type of situation, very high level high school football, very supportive community. It just had all those attributes that I looked for. So there wasn't necessarily a timetable in my head, but certainly with my wife and I being fairly young and young kids, it seemed like an appropriate time to move on from where I was at and to this level. So I think the timing, everything just came together well. So with all those factors involved, it was the time to go, and it was a great situation. I'm very happy to be here.
I'm sure you've gone through it, Coach, in your head, the advantages, disadvantages of following a coach like Coach Curry. Maybe you can elaborate. You've mentioned some of that, but some of the good and bad things that have gone through your heads about taking over a program with a coach.
The coach's record speaks for itself. I would certainly be foolish to speak about his program and everything because certainly the history is known here and the tradition is known here. So I don't weigh too much on my mind with that. I am who I am, and that's I'm going to come in here and do the things that I've done well to make myself successful. And I'm going to concentrate on those things. Thinking about Coach Curry and the way he's done things here only takes away from the kids that I'm about to coach and teach now. So I'm focusing on those kids, on our staff, and the present moment. I can't wait to learn more about the pride and tradition and things that have happened here. I'm not disregarding that at all, but simply concentrating on the task at hand.
How about a coaching style, a style of play for your teams?
I would consider myself certainly a disciplinarian. I would consider myself a person that prides himself on a disciplined football team. And certainly my three creeds for coaching and teaching football is that we're going to be in physically great shape, we're going to be physical, and we're going to be a great blocking and tackling team. Other than that, I feel everything else will take care of itself. So we do those three things, we're going to be okay in football.
The style of some of your winning clubs, have you had great quarterbacks, great running?
I think what I'm very proud about is our staff and I, we put the kids in the right positions. I've had a 6'4", 205-pound flamethrower sit back there and being able to throw the ball. We've used his talents to help our team. I've had some great athletes at quarterback that can run. Quite honestly, we're better running backs than quarterbacks, but able to incorporate their talents into the team. So we've won with great linemen, we've won with great backs. We try to put them in the right position to be successful for our team. So we've won in various ways. We've won with not so good of offense and a dominating defense. So I think the most important thing the staff and I have to do is evaluate the talent, put them in a great place in order for them to be successful.
Don't know much about your other school district. How do they compare, Berwick and?
Smaller school district, however, very similar, and that's why I think I feel so at home here. We're from a mill town in Massachusetts. Every bit of the money you have in your pockets is from our town. We create the currency for the United States. Crane & Company is a paper company, so we make the paper for the world currency. We're a mill town, we're smaller, but a lot of the same attributes. Hard-working, blue-collar people. That fits in very well here. So that's the background. It's a little bit smaller scale. That's all I can say. This is certainly a larger venue for football and a larger school district than what I was at.
What's your first impressions of the staff that you're going to inherit here?
Well, we talked yesterday, and certainly all I did was introduce myself. We're going to continue to communicate and talk. But overall, I think their records and their past speak for themselves. I haven't been able to really talk anything positional, anything in detail, to be honest with you. Yesterday was an introduction, so that's going to continue for a month or so.
What did you talk with the kids about yesterday afternoon?
Again, just my background. Yesterday was an introduction. I just wanted them, they've heard the name, they've maybe seen a couple pictures in the paper and so on and so forth. But really, yesterday was an introduction to myself, some of my philosophies, an overall scheme of what I'd like to do. In other words, the blocking, the tackling, the physicalness, being in great shape, discipline, winning on and off the field. So really, yesterday was just putting a face with a name. And really, the real work begins when I get here full time. So the vibe was positive. The kids were great. They're very respectful. They listen. And again, we'll work things out as we go. So other than that, it was just an introduction.
Mr. Walton, I asked him this already, so I'm going to ask you. Why was Coach Campbell chosen? What attribute stood out in your mind that Coach Campbell should be leaving the building?
I think the committee that did the interviewing was all in agreement that Coach Campbell is a young, enthusiastic, very positive type person. He's a proven winner, as his record indicates, as a 10-year head coach. So that also means that he's experienced many of the things that head coaches have to deal with and experienced them successfully. So all those things come into the total package. So we were very pleased with his selection.